Hello everyone, how you doing today? I'm here to show you guys how to do your own service for your video card. In my case, this is an R9 290 video card and it's an Asus brand with 4 gig of VRAM, and I'm not gonna go in detail of what kind of specification it comes in. I'm gonna show you guys how to open, clean the fan and repaste on this video, but I'm gonna show you something different. We're gonna add a liquid metal on the heatsink and the GPU so we can bring the temperature even lower, up to 30 degrees lower under the load. So let's get into it. First thing first, you want to flip it over, remove the 4 screws in the middle right here. Right. Once you remove the 4 screws, lift up the board slowly, flip it over. You're gonna have to remove the cable for the fan, which is right here. You want to just pull it out right there. Down here we have the VRAMs all around the GPU and the GPU itself, and the old thermal paste that they put is being put in here by Asus. And here we have all the transistors under this heatsink. We're gonna open it and repaste them with an Arctic Silver 5, and we're gonna obviously clean all this dust off. Before we do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the heatsink here. The GPU. Once you did that, use the same towel here to remove all the excess first. So let's go ahead and remove these 2 screws down here. Remove this piece out. This is your thermal pad right under here, and we're gonna go ahead clean up. I'm gonna put this to a side for now. Now we gotta flip the heatsink over, and we want to remove this cover here. There's 4 screws holding it, 2 down here and 2 up here. We're gonna go ahead and remove those 4 screws. Once you remove those, gently try to lift it up. And there you go. This is the metal cover. That's just a protective case and a little bit of the directing the air where it's supposed to go. I think it works better without this, but if you want to go ahead put it so it just doesn't look too ugly. Now next we're gonna remove the fans by removing 4 screws on each fan right under the fans. So what I'm gonna do, let's go ahead and open the. So there's 1 fan. Also you have to cut the cable here. There's a zip tie right there, so cut the zip tie so you can remove the cables. So there's 1 of your fan. Now you're gonna remove the other one. Alright, now that's the second fan. Now what we're gonna do here, we're gonna go ahead and take this heatsink and wash it up and clean it up in an acid, or just airbrush if you want, and also go ahead and gently with an alcohol and let a towel go ahead and clean up the fans. And I'll be back right after cleaning all this. Alright guys, now I cleaned up the heatsink both sides. Clean up the fans. And we're gonna place the fans back in. So let's go ahead and put them exactly where they were. Alright, now we're gonna do the same thing for the other fan right here. Put the cables right there. Alright, now that we got all the screws in, we're gonna tighten the screws a bit. Alright, now that we got all the screws in, we're gonna put the cables right at the back, right where they were. And we're gonna grab a zip tie. If there is no zip tie, grab one cable, one of these tie cables, just put it around. Alright, now that we got all the fans cleaned up, we're gonna put the top cover. Obviously we're gonna go ahead and clean up the top cover too. Alright, now that we have the top cover cleaned up, we're gonna move again for putting the fan back together. So align the holes right on the box. There's right there. Once you got those aligned in, now this is a clean heatsink right here, fresh heatsink. We're gonna clean this copper sheet again. But let's put it to one side. Now grab the board. Now we're gonna go with a toothbrush or any kind of brush that you have, clean up all the dust off the board, every corner, all the connections. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all this dust and I'll be back. Alright, now that we clean up all the dust from the board, this is the part that we're gonna start adding the liquid metal compound. And I am gonna add a copper shim about 0.3, 0.4 millimeter thick, 2.5 by 2.5 centimeters. So it's gonna cover the whole crystal die on the chip. So I'm gonna apply the liquid metal on the chip, on this end, and also we're gonna apply it right over there. Before we know where we're gonna apply here, where we're gonna paint the liquid metal, we need to mark all the four corners of the contact points here. So in order to paint that one over there, the easiest way is to grab any type of thermal paste, paint every corner. You want it to put it on top slowly. I have the camera on my way, so you're gonna put a little pressure. Now remove it. So there's our contact area. So you're gonna mark it, it's in between here and here and right there. So you only need to apply in between this area there is no need to go paint the whole area with a liquid metal. And you don't want to scratch the metal. I'm just scratching the side, the outside. So I don't want to hear in the comments, oh, why you scratched it, why are you doing that? If you don't want to scratch it, don't scratch it. Paint it with a permanent marker or whichever way you want it. This is my way. This is an old card, it's not the 1080 or brand new, so there's not much I care about it. So. But before we go to there, we want to apply Arctic Silver 5 to the surrounding on this one, the power conductors right here. All these chips that is covered by this thermal pad over here, we want to apply it. You can go ahead and apply it right on top, or just go here. There we go. Now we're just gonna go clean up this heatsink quickly, and I'll be back. Alright, now that I clean it up, we're gonna gently put it on top and put the screws back in. Now once we got the screws for this one in, now the main part, we're gonna apply the liquid metal on the die. So you're gonna apply just that one drop right there. Just go slowly, you don't want to splash. Right there. One drop in the middle. Alright. Now that we have applied the drop there, you're gonna grab an alcohol cotton tip. You're just gonna start rubbing it all over the die gently, and it kind of sticks into it. Just work it out. Make sure you just cover the whole thing. Take your time. I recommend you guys to grab one of these ones. These are the electrical tape. It's called the Super 33 Plus. They're really high temperature resistance, and you want to cover all these resistance capacitors right over the chip. You can do this before or after applying. So I should have applied it before, but I just forgot. Now once you got the die, the liquid metal all over the die, let me move around so you can see how it is. I put the bumps in the middle, so the bumps are gonna be pressed and it's just gonna go all around. Now what I'm gonna do on this side of the copper shim, let me zoom in right there. I'm gonna grab it from the bottom down there from the middle a little bit, and just rub it here in the middle, so I can work it into the copper. There we go. So this should be okay, just like that. Once you got that painted, make sure you have enough liquid metal on this end. Now what you want to do, you want to flip it over face to face, put it together. Once you got it there, grab the corners just like that, and just put the pressure right in the middle. There. Now we're gonna paint the middle right there. Before I paint it, I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit. Now we're gonna apply one drop right in there. There we go. Now we're gonna work this drop. You don't need to go crazy rubbing it out. As long as you cover more than 90% of this, you're fine. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the heatsink side. Remember, we already painted where it's gonna be in the center. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a drop right in the middle, right there. And we're gonna work this drop right there. It might take a little time because this is a brushed finished copper. Alright, that should be enough. So we got enough covered right there. I don't know if you can see, let me zoom in. So that's about it. So what are we gonna do right now? We're just gonna sandwich it right in between. We should be done. So I'm just gonna keep it in place, flip it over, and before I put it in, I want to make sure the fans are connected, so I keep it like that. Put the fans in. And now, in order for me to flip it over, I'm gonna put this one down this way, because I don't want to drop the copper shim which is on top. If you drop it, don't worry about it. You can just redo the whole thing. If you go gently, it's not gonna fall. Don't hit it. Once you have it like this, double check from the bottom side, make sure it's not moving. Align the holes. Once you got the holes in, keep it with one finger. And gently put the screws in. Put them across each other. Just like that. And double check, make sure the die is in there and nothing has been moved. And what you want to do, you go ahead and put the rest of the screws in. And this is how you do your thermal service for your video card, and this applies for 1080, GTX 1080 or any other one if you want to use it for extensive period of time or mining or rendering. So this video is for you. So We got it in place and everything should be okay right there. And now we can go ahead and put it back together and install and do a test. I hope you guys like this video. If you liked it, thumbs up. Please subscribe, that really helps. And if you have any questions, just ask me. Thanks for watching, guys.